Yeah, the character is based on me, but these are situations that did not occur. They're completely fabricated. Richie and Shane are not playing Richie and Shane. They're playing an amalgam of all my friends that I've had throughout the years. These are situations that did not occur, but were constructed to hopefully more effectively tell the story.
So you're saying that you didn't really shoot people with paintballs?
No, not on the strip.
He has so many more stories that are bigger and better than this one that he told that I was like, man, you can make a freaking trilogy.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting because we're shooting these scenes and then I'm looking at this director, Monty, and I'm saying, God, he did that.
I've got the actual passport that they photographed me for before they sent me to Samoa, and you can see during that time while they had me locked up that I am not happy.
So after he came back from Brightway, the whole high school was talking about it. Everybody was like, Monty, 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 did you hear about Monty? And Monty would tell the story, and then he turned to me and he'd go, huh, Rich? And I go, yep, just to let him know there's a witness for all this, because I was actually the one who picked him up, not Shane. That wasn't represented in the movie though, but I think Shane portrayed it accurately when his hand picked up the phone. It was the biggest story. It was such a huge story and everyone was so into it that it deserved to be a movie.
You were living with Shane?
Yeah, I was living with Shane at the time. Working at Wild Bill's.
We both worked at Wild Bill's. That's a theater my dad owned. And we'd have to dress up in cowboy hats and serve fried chicken and corn. It was like a themed restaurant. Once he got that job, that really inspired him to start writing this movie. He's like, I'm not gonna be serving fried chicken.
And I read it and I was like, wow, this is really good. This is way better than the script me and you wrote 2 summers ago. You've been practicing.
Yeah, that was quite a script.
Yeah, he did. He wrote a script that was something about snowboarding or something, extreme risks or something. Something that was just brutal. You got to go through that, though.
I had never stepped foot on a film set of any kind. I had watched countless making-ofs and read a whole lot of books on filmmaking, but I did not have any on-set experience.
I had the most experience out of the crew, yeah. The Scarface, of course.
No experience.
No experience.
And Monty had never walked on a movie set.
He never even made like a 5-minute home movie, I don't think.
I had nothing to show for myself as a filmmaker. All I had was my enthusiasm for the project and college report cards.
I just trusted him. He was just so earnest. He was looking me right in the eye, and I liked that.
I keep thinking of Judy Garland and Mickey Rooney. Hey, you want to do a play? Okay. Got any kids? Okay. Got a barn? Let's go do it.
I had no prior filmmaking history to show for myself. I couldn't say, hey, look, I directed this film, or hey, look, I acted in this film. I had nothing. Zilch. Not a thing. But Tommy believed I could do it.
I thought it was too many hats, no doubt about it. And, but he was beyond adamant.
I met with Shane and Monty in Santa Monica, and that was where the first interview was.
What was your impression?
My impression was that I thought they were going to go surfing after the interview.
You're always going to be skeptical or leery of a first-time director who wants to
put themselves in it,
star in his own film about his life story.
What really happened to them in life.
Performing in this, directing this, writing this, I mean, that's something even Clint Eastwood says is difficult.
So there was that little stigma, but that was, you know, overridden by how great the script was. But no one knew if he could act.
At first, it was just write and direct. The starring came actually later in the game.
Really?
It did. And writing and direct, the whole situation made me nervous.
You have this description of dropping the pen and all of that. I'm going to do all of that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
We hired a casting director, Lindsay Shagg, and Shane and I started auditioning people. Oh, a lot of them. We saw hundreds of people over the course of about 6 weeks, I wanted to see everybody. I wanted to actually audition for every role.
I know, dude, it's rough.
I'm shy!
I just remember it being like a big comedy session in there when I was in there with them.
Oh, good shot!
Pain, Ron, it's pain. It's just pain. Motherfuckers.
I was playing Monty in the auditions.
Andrew, wait up!
And I didn't say it until now, but I was actually learning the lines best as I possibly could. Hopefully to set off a spark in Monty's head for me to play him. And you know, and then he told me not to act so much because it's giving him ideas that he didn't want stuck in his head when he's playing the character. And he wanted it all totally organic. I'm like, oh, well, there that goes.
And I walked into this room, there was nobody in it but this kid. And I looked at the kid and I looked around, and then he went, wow, God, how old are you, 12?
By the end of that conversation, Diane had agreed to play the role, but she didn't know
That he was the actor. I knew he was the writer and director, but I didn't know he was going to star in it.
She didn't know that I was going to play the kid until she asked me, well, who's going to play the kid? And I said, well, I'm going to play the kid. And I think she was a little taken aback at first, and then she said, well, do you have acting experience? And I said, not a lot.
There's no IMDb category yet for him, so it's kind of a red flag.
Well, I had a little bit of acting experience.
What?
I had taken a couple acting classes at LMU, beginning acting and intermediate acting.
I didn't even know he had an acting class.
One class, and he was done.
What fabulous gall.
I didn't doubt him. I didn't doubt him at all. I just, I was actually looking forward to it. I was hoping he would get it done. And because I was a little bit apprehensive because I didn't want anything to go wrong or get over his head or him get ripped off by some creepy Hollywood guys and just totally rip him off and have a piece of crap movie. That's what I thought was going to happen.
It was just, it became its own animal, you know, and it just rolled on.
And I thought, well, if he can do this on a wing and a prayer and he can do this with one acting class in his life, this I gotta see.
I didn't know much about his experience, but we had some really good talks. He seemed to really understand film. He was a student of film. He was a scholar of film.
Because he could be a total failure or a total success, but he wasn't gonna be nothing in the middle.
Well, it was kind of the last remaining unknown variable, whether or not I was going to be able to pull the job off as an actor. We have our DP, we have our locations, we have our crew, but our main actor is still you.
We brought in money from investors, people that were businessmen with lawyers and all types of stuff. We were handling their money. We had never done it before. We convinced them we could pull it off, and you know, it's just the classic back yourself into a corner and figure out a way out.
When asked how much it would cost to make the film, we came up with this arbitrary $400,000 figure. We figured, well, there's 4 investors. If we can get $100,000 out of each investor, that's $400,000. That ought to be enough. Based on what I had read in certain books about films like Brothers McMullen or Clerks or El Mariachi, all these 35mm films that were being produced for $100,000 or less, which I really don't know anymore if that's at all possible.
I believe there's a lot of people out there that write those kind of books, and they're the ones driving the used cars that the filmmakers are supposed to be selling.
The day after I put money into the film, I'm over at a friend of mine's house, Ben Sidney. His dad's the late George Sidney, Oscar-winning producer-director. So his mother is in the home, and Ben goes, yeah, Tommy's producing a movie. First words out of her mouth were, and this is less than 24 hours after I gave the money, she goes, well, don't put your own money into it. And I thought, wow.